Hello. Some of you might know that I speak a little bit of Russian, and some of you have asked me if I can teach you a little bit of Russian. So this video will begin your first steps into the Russian language. And what we'll do is we'll cover a few of the Russian letters. We will look at a few Russian words. We'll look at a bit of basic Russian grammar as well, and hopefully we'll be constructing our own Russian sentences by the end of this video. So we'll start with the Russian alphabet. Now, the Russian alphabet is a wonderful thing. It has 33 characters, and each character is phonetic, so it relates to a specific sound. So the story goes that in the 9th century, St. Cyril turned up from Greece to convert Russian-speaking people, and he realized that they didn't have an alphabet. And so he created an alphabet for them to be able to read the Bible. So the Russian alphabet is very closely based on the Greek alphabet. So some of the letters we know, some of the other letters we might be a little bit more familiar with, and some of them we just have to learn from scratch. So ones that we are familiar with. So this is the Russian letter A, which works just the same as an A in English. So the A in cat, for example. This is O, or in Russian, and it's the same as the English letter O. Now, in Russian, each Russian word has got one stress and one stress only. So if the syllable is stressed, then it's pronounced O. But if it isn't stressed, then you pronounce it A. But more about stresses in a later lesson, I think. So we've got A and O. And here we have te, or T, which operates just the same as the English letter T, and M, which operates the same as the English letter M, as in mama. Now, when you write the letter M, you need to make sure that it's got a pointy top, and I'll explain to you maybe later on why that is, but make sure your M's have got pointy tops when you write them. And ka. Just the same as the English letter K, so it's that hard K sound. So we've got A, O, Te, M, and Ka. With those letters, we can construct some Russian words. So we have here the word court, which is the Russian word for cat. This word here, tam, and that means over there. So tam. We're now going to come on to some letters which we think we recognise, but actually they have got a different sound in Russian to they have in English. So in Russian, this is the letter U. That's two O's. U, as in look. U. This is the letter V. So just like an English V. V. This is the letter R. So it's like an English R, but it's rolled more, just like more like a French R. So R. This is the Russian letter S. So just like the English letter S. So S. So we've got U, V, R, S, or Se, sorry, in Russian. And with these letters, we can construct words like this. So, most. So, most is a bridge. Tut. Tut means right here. Vot means here is, like the French of voila. So tout is right here, and vot is here is. and karta, which means map. Karta. And Moskva, which is Russian for Moscow. Notice that I said Moskva because the stress is on the second A, not Moskva, because the stress would be on the first syllable. You pronounce it Moskva in Russian. So, do you remember what court is? That's right, it's cat. And tam. Over there. We're now going to look at some Russian characters which look very unfamiliar to us, but the sounds will be familiar. So this character is de, or just d in English. So this is the Russian d. Now when you write this, you just write it as an English d. But when you see it printed in Russian, it will look like this. So this is a de. This is L. So this is the same as an English L. So you say L. This is a Russian P. So it works just the same as an English P. And you might think actually that's very similar to the pi symbol in Greek. That's what it was based on. So this is P. This back to front looking E is pronounced E. It doesn't work exactly the same as an English E. It's that sort of sharp to the point E that we use, as in E. So this is E. Not E, E. So we've got D, L, P, and E. So we can make words like da, which means yes. Dom, which means house or home. Lampa, which means lamp. Eta. Notice the O is pronounced as an A because I haven't stressed it. Eta, which means this is. Slova, which means word. Stool, which means chair. And stol, which means table. Do you remember most, which means bridge? Tout, which means here, right here is. Vot, like the French voila, here is. Karta, map. Moskva, Moscow. Kot, cat. Tam, over there. Let's just go over some of those words again and see if you remember them. So that's pronounced da, and it means yes. Dom, and it means house or home. Lampa means lamp. Eta means this is. Slova means word. Stool means chair. Stol means table. Most means bridge. Tut means here. What means here is. Karta means map. Moskva means Moscow. Kot is cat. Tam over there. Da means yes. Dom means house. Lampa means lamp. Eta, this is. Slova, word. Stool, chair. Stol, table. So hopefully you might remember some of those words as we've gone over them a couple of times. Okay, now here comes the grammar section. So there are several Russian grammar rules, and we'll start, we'll introduce them a little bit at a time throughout these videos, but here's the first grammar rule you need to know in Russian. Grammar rule number 1, there's no verb to be in Russian. So whereas in English I might want to say there is the house, that word in English is a declension of the verb to be. So you wouldn't say that in Russian. You wouldn't say there is the house. You just say their house, because there's no to be. If I wanted to say I am a teacher, then I wouldn't say am, because that's from the verb to be. So I just say I teacher in Russian. So in the present tense, so when you're talking about the present, there's no verb to be. When you talk about the past and the future, it does appear, but in the present tense, there's no verb to be. Second grammar rule in Russian is there's no article of a noun in Russian. So whereas in English you might say a cat or the cat, you don't say that in Russian, you just say cat, whether it's a cat or the cat. So if I want to say, go back to the example of I am a teacher, I just say I teacher. I don't need the am because that's from to be, and I don't need the a because it's an article. If I wanted to say here is the bridge, then all I would say is here bridge. So what's great about these two grammar rules in Russian is it makes building Russian sentences in the present tense really simple, and makes your first steps in Russian really simple too. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. Now hopefully you have read that says what dom. What we know is like the French voila, so here is. Dom we know is a house. So if we did translate this into English, we would say here is the house. But in Russian you only need two words, what and dom. So if you wanted to say here is the map, you would say what karta. If you would want to say here is Moscow, you'd say what Moskva. If you wanted to say here is the cat, you'd say what kot. So what meaning voila and dom meaning house. But notice how we don't need to worry about is or am or are. We don't need to worry about the a or the. We just use two words. Another example. Stool, tam. So stool we know is chair, and tam is over there. So this would mean in English, the chair is over there. So lots of words in English, but we only need 2 words in Russian. Stool, tam. And a final example. Da, most tut. So da means yes. Most is bridge, and tut is here. So in English we would translate this as yes, the bridge is right here. So hopefully you can see how these Russian sentences are really simple to construct, and you can construct a whole variety of sentences just with the words that I've introduced to you today. But what you need to do is you need to start thinking in Russian, because if you start translating word for word from English into Russian, you're going to get into a mess, because there are no ises or ams or rs, there are no as or thes in Russian at all. You just need to think about the core message of what you're trying to get across, and then the Russians will say that without any fuss and without any frilly bits on the side. They will tell you it directly and straight away. So I hope that was helpful for you. I do recommend you go back and watch this video several times to really remember those words and those letters. And those of you who can access Show My Homework, then I will set some exercises on there for you to help embed the contents of this video. Спасибо большое, and hopefully I shall make another video to teach you some more Russian soon.